So I want to solve the equation right here graphically. Now, what you have to understand is, what is this graph right here? Well, it's the graph of this equation and this equation. Let me better explain that. This equation right here is this graph right here. It's just that graph, that green graph is this green equation. That is the equation, that is the graph for the equation. The blue graph is right there. It's y equals 5. So if I want to solve graphically, what it's saying is, when is this graph equal to this graph? When is the green graph equal to the blue graph? And hopefully you can see it's right there. So my answer to this is right there. But when we solve, aren't we looking for x? So what does x equal at that point is what we're looking for. We want the x of the intersection. So the intersection right there is 1, 5. So the x is 1, so my answer is x equals 1. I just solved graphically. Graph the left, graph the right, see where they cross, look for the x value because we're solving for x. Now, I could also verify that point quickly. Watch this. If I put the point in, 1 plus 3. Okay, again, 1 comes from right above. See the 1 I plugged in for x? And if I crunch that real fast, I get 2 times the square root of 4 plus 1, which is 2 times 2 plus 1. Can you see that's going to equal true? 5 equals 5. And you know something here? Isn't y 5? 5, 5. The x is where they intersect. The 5 is what this left side got because it equals the right side 5. So get used to checking. Checking is going to be an important thing in this section. But when solving graphically, you graph the left, graph the right. Where they cross, you want the x value. Done. So I'm going to solve this graphically. So what that means is I am going to graph that to start with. So to graph that, hopefully you see your hk is 1, -2, and your a value is 1. Hopefully you can see that from that graph. I'm going to graph the left side. So I'm going to start at 1, -2. I'm going to go over 1 and up 1. I'm going to go over 3 and up 1. And if I keep going, I'm off the grid. So that's good. That right there is the left side of the graph. Then I want to graph this. In order to graph that, you should see that as an equation, y equals -1, which looks like this. So that's y equals -1. The other one was y equals the square root of x minus 1 minus 2. There's the two graphs. Each side I graphed. My answer is where they cross. That right there is where they're crossing. The coordinate where they cross is 2, -1. So what does x equal? The 2, the x value. We want the x value where they intersect, so 2 is my answer. If I plugged in 2 right here, it would make a true statement. So we're going to solve this one graphically as well. So I'm going to graph this part of the equation right there, that left side. My hk is -1, 3. My a is 2. So I'm going to start at -1, 3. And my a is 2, so that means I'm going to go right 1, up 2. Right 3, up 2. And I could fit another one, but that's probably going to be good enough. If I have to, I could go back and maybe make another more accurate dot. But I'll go with that. That right there is y equals 2, the square root of x plus 1 plus 3. That's that first equation. Next, I'm going to graph 1, which is y equals 1, which is a line when y equals 1. So there's y equals 1, and there's my other red graph. And if we're solving graphically, we want to put where they cross. And they never cross. So since they never cross, your answer is no solution. There is no solution. There's not a single number you can plug in to make this true. It's like a door with a key that doesn't exist. There's no answer to get you into this thing, to solve it.